There comes a moment when you look at your life and realize, this is not where I'm meant to stay. Not because you're failing, but because you know you're capable of more. And the day you decide to change, not talk about it, not dream about it, but truly decide, that is the day your life changes forever. The moment your life begins to change is the moment you take full responsibility for everything that happens in it. Not partial responsibility, not shared responsibility, full responsibility. This is the point where maturity begins, where growth begins, where transformation becomes possible. Most people spend their entire lives believing their situation is controlled by something outside of themselves, the economy, family background, luck, or fate. But the truth is far more empowering. The direction of your life is shaped by your own decisions. It does not mean everything that happened to you was your choice. Life is unpredictable. Challenges come without invitation. Pain arrives without permission. But what you do about it, how you respond to it, and who you become because of it, that is fully in your hands. Responsibility is not about blame. It is about power. When you say, I am responsible, you take back power from everything that once controlled you. There is a moment where you realize that your habits, your daily routine, your discipline, your thinking, all of these things are sculpting your future. If you want to know where your life is going, look carefully at what you do every day. Your life is not shaped by big decisions made once in a while. It is shaped by small decisions made repeatedly, quietly, consistently. The way you spend your mornings, the thoughts you dwell on, the people you spend time with, the actions you repeat even when no one is watching. These are what write the script of your future. Responsibility means you stop waiting. Waiting for someone to discover you, waiting for inspiration, waiting for opportunity. You understand that. Waiting is a silent thief. It steals dreams and replaces them with regret. When you take responsibility, you don't wait, you create. You create opportunities by working, improving, learning, and showing up. Success rarely goes looking for people. It responds to those who are prepared and ready. The day you stop blaming others is the day you free yourself. When you blame, you hand away control. You give someone else the steering wheel to your life. But when you say, this is my life and I will determine where it goes, everything shifts. Your energy changes. Your mindset strengthens. Your confidence begins to grow. You feel a sense of clarity and direction. Even if the path is not yet clear, you know that you are the one walking it with intention. Taking responsibility also means accepting that change will not be comfortable. Growth requires uncomfortable conversations, uncomfortable decisions, and uncomfortable discipline. But the discomfort is temporary. The reward is long-lasting. You begin to understand that your future self depends on your present actions. Every step you take in responsibility is like laying a brick in the foundation of the life you want. The day your life changes forever is not the day circumstances change. It is the day you change. The day you decide no more excuses. My future is my responsibility. And once that decision is made, everything begins to move forward. Dreams are beautiful. They give us something to look toward, something that lights the heart and awakens the imagination. But dreams alone do not build a life. They cannot build a business, repair a relationship, strengthen your character, or bring success. Action is the force that moves a dream from imagination into reality. Many people have dreams. Few people take the daily steps required to make those dreams real. The bridge between what you want and what you have is not hope, and it is not intention. It is consistent action. There are countless moments when motivation is high and energy is strong. In those moments, action feels easy. But the real test of your commitment comes on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found, when the world feels heavy, when progress seems slow, when results are not visible. It is in these moments that most people stop. They wait for the fire to return, for inspiration to strike again. But those who succeed know something powerful. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you move even a small step, you create momentum. And momentum is one of the most valuable forces in personal growth. A small action taken today is worth more than a promise to take a large action tomorrow. The mind loves to imagine great achievements, but the body must do the work. And when you train yourself to act, not just think, not just hope, you develop a new identity. You begin to see yourself as a person capable of progress. Your confidence grows because confidence is not built from success itself, but from the discipline of effort. It's important to understand that action does not have to be dramatic. It can be simple, small steps, reading a few pages, practicing a skill for 20 minutes, making one important phone call, waking up slightly earlier, improving something by just 1% each day. Tiny actions compound. They gather power like drops of water forming a river. Over time, consistent effort becomes unstoppable. There will always be reasons to delay, reasons to doubt, reasons to hesitate. The mind is clever at building excuses. I'll start tomorrow. I'm not ready yet. I need more time. I need better conditions. But the truth is that action destroys doubt. The moment you begin, clarity arrives. The moment you take a step, the next step becomes visible. Life does not reveal the entire path before you walk it. It reveals the path as you walk. Those who achieve their dreams are not always the smartest, the most talented, or the most privileged. They are the ones who kept moving. They acted when they were inspired, and they acted when they were tired. They acted when they understood, and they acted while still confused. They trusted that movement itself would guide them. So if you have a dream, something that truly matters to you, don't just hold it in your heart. Transform it into daily action. The smallest step today is more powerful than the greatest intention left untouched. Action is the bridge, and once you start walking across it, the destination that once seemed distant begins to move closer every single day. Discipline is the quiet architect behind every meaningful achievement. It is not exciting. It does not draw applause. It rarely feels glorious in the moment, yet discipline is the force that shapes your habits, builds your character, and determines the quality of your future. Talent can open doors, motivation can start the journey, but discipline is what keeps you moving long after the excitement has faded. Most people underestimate the power of small routines repeated daily. They believe success comes from huge breakthroughs or sudden strokes of luck. But the truth is that success grows from consistent effort, even when the results are not immediately visible. Discipline means doing what is necessary, not just what feels comfortable. It means choosing what is right for your future over what is easy in the present. There will be days when you don't want to do the work, days when your body feels heavy and your mind is full of reasons to avoid effort. These are the days that define you. Because anyone can take action when motivation is high, but discipline is what keeps you stable when inspiration disappears. And make no mistake, inspiration will disappear. Feelings change constantly. Discipline does not rely on feelings, it relies on commitment. Think of discipline as the promise you make to yourself, a promise that says, I will not abandon my future for temporary comfort. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your self-respect. You build trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, confidence becomes natural. True confidence isn't loud. It is the calm knowing that you can depend on yourself to follow through. It's also important to understand that discipline does not mean perfection. No one is perfect. You will stumble. You will miss days. You will make mistakes. But discipline means you return. You recommit. You continue. The person with discipline is not the person who never falls, but the one who always stands back up. Discipline is easier to maintain when you have a strong reason behind it. If your why is weak, your discipline will collapse the moment things become difficult. But when you have a purpose, something meaningful, something personal, discipline becomes less of a burden and more of a path. The stronger the purpose, the stronger the perseverance. Your future self is shaped by the disciplines you practice today. your health, your mindset, your finances, your relationships, all of these are influenced by what you repeatedly do. If you develop the discipline to read daily, you gain wisdom. If you develop the discipline to save regularly, you gain stability. If you develop the discipline to exercise consistently, you gain strength. Discipline is the investment you make into your future every single day. And the remarkable thing is this: discipline becomes easier over time. The habits that feel difficult today will eventually become natural. Discipline transforms into routine, routine becomes identity, and identity drives your destiny. The life you want is built step by step, choice by choice, habit by habit, through the steady, unwavering power of discipline. Many people wait their entire lives for the right time to begin. They wait for the perfect day, the perfect mood, the perfect confidence, the perfect opportunity. But the truth is, the perfect time does not exist. Life does not pause, align itself, and clear the path to make your journey easy. If anything, life waits to see if you are willing to move before the path becomes clear. The greatest delay in a person's growth is not lack of potential, but the habit of waiting. Waiting feels safe. It feels comfortable. It allows you to avoid the fear of failure, the risk of embarrassment, the discomfort of effort. But this safety is an illusion. Time passes whether you act or not. The days become months, the months become years, and suddenly the dream that once felt so alive begins to fade. You look back and realize that it wasn't ability you lacked, it was action. You were waiting for life to change, when in reality, life was waiting for you. The idea that things must be perfect before you begin is a trap. Everything worthwhile starts with uncertainty. Every skill starts with inexperience. Every success story begins with someone who didn't feel ready. Readiness is not something you wait for. It is something you create through action. You learn by doing, not by thinking about doing. Clarity comes from movement, not from stillness. You don't need to take every step today. You don't need to have the entire vision figured out. What you need is the courage to start where you are with what you have, even if you can only see the next small step. That small step has power. It signals to life itself that you are serious. And when you move, life moves with you. Opportunities begin to appear, not magically, but because you are finally in motion, finally engaged, finally awake. Think of the people you admire: leaders, creators, entrepreneurs, achievers. None of them began when everything was comfortable. They stepped forward while they were unsure, while others doubted them, while the path was unclear. They began while fear whispered in their ears. The difference is they understood one truth: action shapes reality. There will never be a day when all conditions are perfect. There will be challenges, there will be doubts, there will be problems you cannot yet predict. But there will also be progress. There will be learning. There will be growth. And the more you grow, the more capable you become. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. What once felt overwhelming becomes routine. Time is either your partner or your enemy. It depends on how you use it. When you wait, you lose it. When you move, you multiply it. The door to your new life does not open when the moment is perfect. It opens when you decide that progress matters more than comfort. The moment you act, even clumsily, even afraid, is the moment your life begins to change. The environment you choose plays a silent but powerful role in shaping your future. You may have strong dreams, discipline, and goals, but if the people around you constantly speak doubt, fear, or negativity into your life, those seeds will eventually take root. Human beings naturally absorb behavior, language, and mindset from the company they keep. We don't even notice it happening. Slowly, your standards adjust to match the standards of those around you. This is why choosing your environment with intention is one of the greatest responsibilities you have. If you spend time with people who complain all day, soon you will complain. If you spend time with people who make excuses, you will adopt their excuses. If you surround yourself with people who have given up on their dreams, your dreams will begin to shrink. The people around you influence your energy, your attitude, your belief in yourself, and even the quality of decisions you make. Your environment can either lift you higher or pull you down without you ever realizing it. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who think bigger, who challenge themselves, who are striving for growth, you begin to rise to match their level. When you are around people who take responsibility for their lives, something changes inside you. Your goals feel more achievable. Your standards rise. You start believing that progress is possible. You start expecting more from yourself because the people around you expect more from themselves. Your environment is not just the people you talk to, it is also the information you consume, the books you read, the videos you watch, the voices you allow into your mind. These are all environments. If your environment is filled with noise, distraction, entertainment, and escape, you may feel busy, but you won't grow. But if your environment is filled with learning, inspiration, and challenge, your thinking expands. Your decisions become sharper. You begin to operate with more clarity and purpose. Sometimes the hardest part of growth is outgrowing the people you once felt close to, not because you are better than them, but because you are choosing a different direction. Growth requires letting go, not with anger, not with pride, but with understanding. You can love people and still choose not to walk their path. You can appreciate your history while still choosing a new future. Protecting your environment means setting boundaries with your time, your energy, and your attention. It means saying no to conversations that drain you and yes to experiences that strengthen you. It means being around those who push you to become your best self, not those who keep you comfortable being average. Your environment is like the soil you plant your life in. Even the strongest seed cannot grow in poor soil, but in the right soil, with the right surroundings, it will rise, thrive, and become something extraordinary. So choose your environment with intention, because your future is growing in it every single day. There is a moment in every person's life when something inside them finally speaks and says, enough. Enough of repeating the same patterns, enough of living below your potential, enough of allowing fear, doubt, and hesitation to control the direction of your life. This moment is powerful because it represents a shift from passively accepting life to actively shaping it. Change does not begin with goals. It does not begin with motivation. It begins when you draw the line and refuse to return to the version of yourself that settled. The word enough carries strength because it is a declaration of identity. When you say, I've had enough, you are not just rejecting old habits, you are choosing who you are going to become. It is the internal decision to stop living life on repeat. Many people think change is a slow process, and while growth takes time, change begins in an instant, in the moment of decision. The moment you decide that your future matters more than your excuses, your transformation begins. This decision does not happen through inspiration alone. Sometimes it happens after disappointment, after failure, after a moment where you finally see the truth of your situation. Pain can be a powerful teacher because it reveals what we can no longer tolerate. But pain is not the end. It is the beginning of clarity. Because when something inside you refuses to continue the old path, you open yourself to a new direction. The power of enough is also the power of boundaries. Boundaries with your habits, with your environment, and even with yourself. It is the refusal to continue treating your time casually, your health carelessly, your goals as optional, or your dreams as negotiable. When you reach the point of enough, you begin to protect your time like it matters. You guard your focus, you prioritize growth, you stop allowing temporary comfort to steal permanent progress. There is courage in this decision because it requires facing the truth. It requires acknowledging where you have been the one holding yourself back. Growth begins with honesty, not shame, but honesty. The honesty to say, I have more inside me and I will no longer live small. From that truth, determination begins to rise. Once you decide that you've had enough of the old life, something remarkable happens. Your energy changes. Your attitude shifts. You begin to act differently. You begin to speak differently. Your vision expands. You no longer move like someone trying to survive. You move like someone building something meaningful. The key is to not let this moment pass. Decisions lose power when they are not followed by action. The declaration of enough must be supported by daily effort, even small steps. Because once you refuse to return to your old patterns, every action becomes a brick in the foundation of your new life. Your future does not change when the world changes. It changes when you change. And it all begins the moment you say, enough. I choose better. I choose growth. I choose my future.